Hi students, welcome to Vijay Datta chemistry classes. This is Purnima ma'am. Today we are going to discuss some basic concepts in chemistry. That very important class, those are law of chemical combinations we are going to discuss. So let us see here how many laws of combinations we have. See, there are five important laws of chemical combinations are there. Total five important chemical combinations we have. So let us see what are those five. The first one is the law of chemical combinations. First one is the law in the chemical combinations. The first one is law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. The second one is the law of definite proportions. Second one is the law of definite proportions. Law of definite proportions. And third one is the law of multiple proportions. The law of multiple proportions. Multiple proportions. And the next one is law of reciprocal proportions. The law of reciprocal proportions. Reciprocal proportions. And the fifth one is law of combining volumes. The law of combining volumes. Okay, guys, so the law of conservation of mass, law of definite proportions, multiple proportions, reciprocal proportions, and combining volumes we have. Let us see who has proposed the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass was proposed by Lavoisier. Who is that scientist name? Lavoisier is the scientist who proposed law of conservation of mass. Lavoisier. He is called father of chemistry. Lavoisier is also known as famous with law of chemistry, father of chemistry like. He is the father of chemistry. Next, come to the next proportion, law of definite proportions. Law of definite proportions was proposed by Proust. Who's that scientist name? Proust proposed the law of definite proportions. Next, law of multiple proportions. Law of multiple proportions was given by Dalton. Law of multiple proportions was given by Dalton. He proposed the this one. He proposed the multiple proportions. Next, come to the law of reciprocal proportions. Law of reciprocal proportions was given by Richter. What is the scientist name is Richter. He proposed the law of reciprocal proportions. And next one, and the law of combining volumes, and also this is known as Gay-Lussac's law. So who is the scientist has given that law of combining volumes is nothing but the Gay-Lussac's law. This is also known as Gay-Lussac's law. Okay, and also one more law also we'll study, that is nothing but called Avogadro's law. Next one is the Avogadro's law. This is also proposed by, this is given by the Avogadro, and this is called Avogadro's law. So these are the five important laws of chemical combination, and who the respective scientist who proposed the five laws. Okay, law of conservation of mass proposed by Lavoisier, who is also known as father of chemistry, and law of definite proportions given by Proust, law of multiple proportions given by Dalton, law of reciprocal proportions given by Richter, law of chemical combining volumes was given by Gay-Lussac, and this is also known as Gay-Lussac's law. Fifth law is also known as Gay-Lussac's law. Okay, let us start with the first law, that is called law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. law of conservation of mass. This law already we know that generally we study this one as the energy in terms of energy is considered energy neither be created nor be destroyed but can convert from one form to another form. This is also same applicable to here the matter. The matter can neither be created, matter can neither be created nor be destroyed, and it can convert from one form to the another form. This is called law of conservation of mass. Otherwise we can write one more statement for law of conservation of mass is this is the total mass of the products formed, the total mass of the products formed during the chemical reaction, formed during the chemical reaction, the total mass of the products formed during the chemical reactions change is exactly during the chemical change or chemical reaction is exactly equal to the is exactly equal to the mass of the reactants, is exactly equal to the mass of the reactants. This one will apply for the law of conservation of mass in terms of mass is considered. Suppose see here CaCO3 is the best example. It is a reversible reaction. CaCO3 which is on heating gives CaO plus CO2. See here, carbon dioxide is the gas, calcium oxide is the solid, and also CaCO3 is also solid over here. Calcium carbonate, how to calculate the molecular weight? Sum of atomic weights is nothing but called its molecular weight. Calcium's atomic weight is 20, carbon is 12, plus oxygen. Oxygen is 1, oxygen is for 16. 16 threes are, we have to consider 16 threes are 48 like we can consider. So now, so what is the total weight? You can see calcium atomic weight is 20, whereas come to consider here atomic number is 20. We have to consider here its molecular weight is 40. So 40 and 40, 88 plus 12 is nothing but 100 grams of calcium carbonate we are considering in the reactants. Then calcium is 40 plus oxygen is 16. Then it is called 56 grams of calcium oxide is forming. Whereas come to carbon is a 12 and oxygen 16 twos are 32, so it is 44 grams. So reactants side calcium carbonate is 100 grams, whereas come to the after completion of the reaction, after the during the chemical reaction, what are the products formed here? Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide weight is 56 grams, carbon dioxide weight is 44 grams. If you add those two, the weight is 100 grams. So there is no loss in the mass of the reactant. That mass of the reactant just converted into the two new products like, okay, 100 grams equal to 100 grams, so there is no loss in the mass. Just the total mass of the products here 56 plus 44, the total mass of the products formed during the chemical reaction is exactly equal to the mass of the reactants. This is called the law of conservation of mass, which is given by the Lavoisier. Okay, this is the first law. Next, come to the second law. What is the next law? Next law is nothing but the law of combining, law of definite proportions will go. Next one is the law of definite proportions. Law of definite proportions was given by Proust. Already we discussed this, right? So this Proust, what is the statement given by the Proust? See here, this law of definite proportions is also known as, we can call it is as law of constant proportions also. This is also known as law of constant proportions. It is also known as law of constant proportions. So, law of constant proportions, what is its statement? The statement for law of constant proportions is a given compound, a given compound always contains the given compound always contains the same amount always contains the same elements or same amount the same elements combined in a fixed proportion combined in a fixed proportion combined in a fixed proportions by weight. So to understand the statement of law of definite proportions, I want to take the an example. Suppose, see here, I want to take carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide you can prepare by carbon is reacting with the combustion, carbon on combustion also you can get carbon dioxide. Otherwise carbon calcium carbonate on heating also you can get calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide gas. So whatever the process you are using for the preparation of the carbon dioxide, the formed carbon dioxide will have the same elements will combine with the fixed proportions by weight. So here you prepared by combustion, here you prepared by heating the calcium carbonate, so carbon dioxide is formed. That molecular formula of carbon dioxide is CO2. There is no change in the proportion of the carbon and oxygen mixing forming. See here, the carbon here, carbon how many grams, 12 grams of carbon is participating, and oxygen 32 grams, that gives the 44 grams of carbon dioxide. There is no change in the molecular formula, there is no change in the elements combined in a fixed proportions by weight. To form the carbon dioxide, always 12 grams of the carbon reacts with the 32 grams of the oxygen. That is nothing but how can we can take in the proportions ratio, percentages ratio also we can take. Always to form the carbon dioxide, particular percentage of carbon will react with particular percentage of oxygen only will be present. Even it is not about the reaction, we are talking about the molecular formula. Wherever whenever you prepare the CO2, CO2 is nothing but always it is one carbon and two oxygens only. If you prepare H2O, always two hydrogens and one oxygen only gives the H2O. Two hydrogens means 2 grams, oxygen means 16 grams, total water is 18 grams. The ratio 2 grams plus 16 grams, it won't be changed if you are preparing by any method means also. This is called law of constant proportions. A given compound means if you take carbon dioxide, water, ammonia, any compound, for the given compound always contains the same elements combined in a fixed proportions by weight. That compound, ammonia, always nitrogen and three hydrogens only will combine in a fixed proportion. Also carbon dioxide, always carbon and two oxygens only fixed elements will be formed. If you take any calcium carbonate, calcium one carbon and three oxygens will make the molecular formula, and their proportion by weight also will be same always. This is nothing but called law of definite proportions. Suppose here, if you want to calculate the percentage of the carbon, percentage yield, CO2 is there, always carbon dioxide means percentage of carbon will be like that only. How to calculate that percentage yield? Percentage of carbon is nothing but atomic weight of carbon into number of carbon atoms by total weight of the compound by total molecular weight of compound into 100, that gives the percentage of the carbon. See here, atomic weight of carbon is 12, number of carbon atoms in CO2 gives you only one carbon atom is there, by total weight of the carbon dioxide is 44 into 100. So whatever you are getting here, 12 into 1 by 40, 12 into 1 by 44 into 100, the same percentage you will get as always. Suppose you want to calculate the percentage yield of oxygen, then atomic weight of oxygen into number of oxygen atoms by total molecular weight of the compound into 100. This gives you the percentage of oxygen. To form the carbon, always 12 is to 32 grams of the carbon 12 grams and oxygen 32 grams only will react. This proportion will be fixed. For H2O, 2 is to 16. This proportion is fixed. Suppose CH4, 12 is to 4. This proportion is fixed. That's why this is called law of law of definite proportions and law of constant proportions. This is called law of constant proportions given by the Proust. Okay. Now come to the next law, that is called law of multiple proportions. Law of multiple proportions. This law of multiple proportions was given by Dalton. Law of multiple proportions given by Dalton. Okay. So now see what is the statement for this law of multiple proportions. See, if two elements, if two elements, if two elements chemically combine, chemically combine, chemically combine to give two or more, to give two or more compounds, then the weight of one element which combines then the weight of one element which combines with the fixed weight of, don't worry about the statement, I'll take the examples and I'll explain, then it will be very easy. Then the weight of one element with the fixed weight of, with the fixed weight of the other element, fixed weight of the other element in those compounds bear a simple multiple ratio, bear a simple multiple ratio bear a simple multiple ratio to one another. So if two elements chemically combine to give two or more compounds, then the weight of one element which with fixed weight the other element in those compounds bear a simple multiple ratio to one another. I'll give the pair of examples. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, water and hydrogen peroxide, you can take those. See here, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, two elements, carbon and oxygen, two elements, they are chemically combining to give two or more compounds. Carbon combining with oxygen can give carbon monoxide, carbon combining with oxygen can give carbon dioxide. Then the weight of, how they are giving the different compounds, the weight of one element which with fixed weight the other elements in those compounds will bear a simple multiple ratio to one another. So from carbon and oxygen we are seeing carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide we are seeing. So I am fixing the carbon's weight. I am fixing the carbon's weight, that is 12 grams I am fixing. For carbon dioxide, so I am fixing 12 grams. To prepare carbon monoxide, I'll use 16 grams of oxygen. So to prepare carbon dioxide, I'll use 32 grams of oxygen. So it is giving, carbon monoxide is giving the 28 grams of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide is giving 44 grams. So when you are fixing the one element's weight, other element's weight will be multiple of simple ratio. Here to prepare carbon oxide and carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, carbon's ratio is fixed, oxygen ratio is varying with 1 is to 2 ratio. For the preparation of carbon monoxide, I used 1 mole, otherwise 16 grams. For carbon dioxide, I used 2 into 16 grams of the oxygen. So that 1 is to 2 is nothing but called simple simple multiple ratio of the another element. Why we have to fix one one carbon, otherwise one element we have to fix, other elements weight will be the simple multiple ratio to one another. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, 1:2 ratio, no issue. Now come to the water and hydrogen peroxide, H2O and H2O2. See here, H2O. I am taking hydrogen is 2 grams. Here also 2 grams. But if you see here, plus 2 grams plus 2 grams plus oxygen, here I am using 16 grams, whereas come to here I am using 32 grams. So same hydrogen and oxygen are two elements, they want to prepare two compounds, that is H2O and H2O2. So they fixed hydrogen's weight, that is 2 grams they fixed, but they changed the oxygen's weight by simple multiple ratio, that is 1:2 ratio. For the water, 1 ratio, that is 16 grams. If we double that, we'll get the 32 grams for the preparation of H2O2. This is called law of multiple proportions. Not only this example, we can take nitrogen compounds, which we have so many. That is, see here, N2O, NO, N2O3, NO2, and N2O5. Okay, N2O, NO, N2O3, NO2, and N2O5. These I'll classify into two compounds, like NO and NO2 belongs to one category, another one N2O and N2O3 and N2O5 will belongs to another category. Now let us see. Nitrogen is nothing but 14 for NO. This is for NO. NO2, nitrogen is also 14 grams, but we are multiple, that is nothing but we are changing the oxygen's ratio. For the preparation, oxygen is 16 grams, here we are taking. For here oxygen we are taking 32 grams. For preparing nitrous oxide and nitrogen dioxide, this is nitrogen oxide and nitrogen dioxide, we are keeping nitrogen's weight is same, and we are changing the oxygens by 1:2 ratio. This is nothing but called by keeping the one element's weight is constant and by changing the other element's proportion. That is nothing but by changing the weight by simple multiple ratio. Okay, this is also one for law of multiple proportions. We can go for another example. See here, N2O5. What is the nitrogen here? We have taken 28 grams plus N2 28 grams, N2 28 grams. In these three compounds, we have used that nitrogen's ratio is 28 grams only, right? But whereas come to the oxygen, here oxygen I used for the N2O is 16 grams, for O3 is 16 into 3, so 3 into 16 grams. For this one, I used 5 into 16 grams N2O5, because so the ratio is 1:3:5 ratio. The ratio is 1:3:5 ratio. We have fixed the nitrogen's ratio to 28 grams, and we have taken the simple multiple ratio for the oxygen, that is 1:3:5. So this is also known as simple multiple ratio. So this one, see here, 16 grams, 32 grams, 50 grams. If you take all, is also 16 grams, 32 grams for these two examples, and 16, 32 grams, and for 40, 68, 16 fives are 80 grams. So we are taking for the multiple ratio here. So this is called law of multiple proportions, which is given by the Dalton. Okay, guys. Now come to the next law, that is called law of reciprocal proportions. Next one is the law of reciprocal proportions. Reciprocal proportions. This is given by the, means this was proposed by Richter. in the year of 1792. Okay, what is his statement? His statement is, he states that when two elements combine, when two elements combine separately, when two elements combine separately with a fixed mass of third element, with a fixed mass of third element, fixed mass of third element, then the ratio, then the ratio of their masses in which they do so is either same or some whole number ratio, either same or some whole number multiple ratio in which, in which they combine with each other. Don't worry about the statement, I'll simplify that. They combine with each other, because the statements will be like that only, but we can understand them in the easy way. I'll make you to understand that easy way. Let us see here. When two elements combine separately with a fixed mass of third element, then the ratio of their masses in which they do so is either same or some whole number multiple ratio in which they combine with each other. Yes, I'll take here one triangle to make understand this is easier. I am here taking hydrogen as one of the compound. Yes, I'll make it to understand better. See here, I am taking it is hydrogen, then it is sulfur, and then it is oxygen. See here, hydrogen and oxygen, they'll combine and they'll form H2O. Hydrogen and sulfur, they'll combine and they'll form H2S. So here, when two elements combine separately with a fixed mass, see here, hydrogen and sulfur, hydrogen and oxygen, they have combined with some fixed mass, right? Then the third element, that is nothing but, see here, hydrogen sulfur, hydrogen oxygen, in both the elements hydrogen is common. The leftover elements are what? Here is sulfur, here is oxygen. So those two, sulfur and oxygen, can combine and can form the SO2 molecule. So according to this law, sulfur should combine with oxygen in the ratio, what is sulfur's atomic weight 32, oxygen's atomic weight is here 16, right? So oxygen's atomic weight is 16, or a simple multiple ratio. Otherwise, two oxygens we have taken, it can be 32 is to 32 ratio to form SO2. This is when two elements combine separately with a fixed mass of third element, then the ratio of their masses in which they do so is either same or some whole number ratio. H2S, can you see here? 2 is to 32. H2S is 2 is to 32. Here H2O is 2 is to 16. 2 is to 32, 2 is to 16. So now the third element, we are going to the compound that may be fixed with 32 is to 16 ratio or 32 is to 32 ratio, 1 is to 2, simple multiple ratio also they can combine each other. Here H2S is combining, H2O is combining to each other. Then here the sulfur and oxygen also can combine with the same proportions, otherwise with the different simple whole number multiple ratio also they can be combined. This is called law of reciprocal proportions, we can say. Okay, We can take even this also. We can take one more example also, not only H2S and H2. We can take methane, carbon, and also we can take H2O. So those will be different compounds. Okay, this is called the law of reciprocal proportions. So the concept of these chemical equivalents, chemical masses in all the chemical reactions, substances always reacts in their ratio, their equivalent masses. That is nothing but, see here, they will be combined with a particular ratio. This is called law of reciprocal proportions. Okay, guys. So when two elements combine separately with a fixed mass of third element, the ratio of their masses in which they do so is either same or some whole number multiple ratio of hydrogen sulfide and water. Both they combine and they get the third compound may can form as SO2, and it can react with 32 is to 16 or 32 is to 32 ratio also. That is what they want to give. That is called law of law of reciprocal proportions also we have completed, right? Now come to the next one. Fifth one is law of combining volumes. Law of combining volumes. This is given by Gay-Lussac. Given by Gay-Lussac, right? So what is the statement of this one? Gases combine in the simple whole number ratio. Gases combine in the simple whole number ratio of their volumes under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. If products are also gases, the simple whole number ratio also extends to the products. That is nothing but, see here. Law of combining volumes means we are studying this is for the gases. See here, the law of combining volumes and law of constant proportions or definite proportions will be same. But there they have taken the masses. Proust has taken the masses, but here Gay-Lussac has taken the volumes. He has taken for the liquids and solids, he has taken for the gases. That's why we are talking about the volume here while talking about the gases. So whatever the gases, they are combining in the simple whole number ratio of their volumes under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. See here, at constant temperature and pressure, 2H2 plus O2 gives rise to 2 moles of H2O. See here, hydrogen is the gas, oxygen is the gas. Whatever the water is forming here, that also gas. So here what we have taken, 2 grams of, otherwise 2 liters. It is a gas now. So 2 liters of hydrogen combining with 1 liter of oxygen and forming the 2 liters of water vapor. This is called this is called Gay-Lussac's law. This is applicable only for gases. This is for gases only. Okay. This is called law of combining volumes. You can take this also. N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. This is called Haber's process. Nitrogen is gas, hydrogen is gas, ammonia is gas. So 1 liter of nitrogen reacting with 3 liters of hydrogen, always at constant temperature and pressure, always 1 liter reacts with 3 liter and forms 2 liters of ammonia. There is no change in this proportion at constant temperature and pressure. If you are changing the temperature and pressure conditions, then maybe the products will be vary. Understand? Till then, until and see temperature and pressure not changing, then there is no change in the proportions ratio, there is no change in the combining volumes ratio. This is called law of combining volumes given by Gay-Lussac's law. It is applicable only to gases reactions only. And the last one more law also there, that is what we have discussed, that is Avogadro's law. What is the Avogadro's law? Avogadro's law is nothing but Equal volumes of all gases. Equal volumes of all gases under same conditions, under same conditions of temperature and pressure contain equal number of moles or molecules. Yeah, this is simply you have taken one glass of water. Whenever and wherever, when the constant temperature and pressure, the same glass of water will contain same number of water molecules. Suppose I have taken 100 ml of water. Till the temperature and pressure constant, not changing the temperature and pressure, 100 ml of water will contain the same number of water molecules. Suppose 100 ml contains x molecules of water. Then if you are not changing the temperature and pressure, you have take 100 ml of water, always x molecules of water only will be present. There is no change in that. That is what equal volumes of all gases under same conditions of temperature and pressure contain equal number of moles of molecules. So, say 2 liters of hydrogen gas, 3 liters of oxygen gas, whatever you take, same temperature, same number of oxygen or hydrogen molecules will be present in that. This is nothing but volume is directly proportional to the number of moles. So, this one proportionality I want to remove and I'll take K. This is the proportionality constant. So, we can take V by N equals to K. V equal to volume, N is the number of moles or molecules. Then we can take for two different V1 by N1 equals to V2 by N2 for two different gases or molecules is considered. So the number of moles is the number of molecules to find. Formula is number of molecules formula is equals to number of moles into Avogadro number. Number of moles into Avogadro number. Avogadro number value is 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. So number of molecules formula, number of moles into Avogadro number. Okay, this is called Avogadro's law. Whenever and wherever you take the same number of water molecules will be present in that with the example. So these are the 5 laws of chemical combinations and Avogadro's law, students. Okay, please like, share and comment. If you any particular topic is required, you can comment in the comments box, and please subscribe to my channel to get more subject videos. I'm ready to explain here uh, uh, all the topics in the chemistry regarding mains, NEET point of view, MSET point of view also. Okay guys, thank you so much. Be ready for the next video. I'll go for the next topic in the basic concepts of chemistry only. Okay, thank you guys, thank you so much.